after LeBron and the Lakers agreed to a 2-year, $85 million extension. Probably just a coincidence. So both Lakers stars now aligned for the next 3 seasons in L.A. Broussard, I'll start with you. Chris Broussard joining us, by the way. We're so comfortable. I just call you by your last name. Assume you're always here. Broussard, what was your reaction to AD and LeBron James extensions?
Look, it's great for the Lakers. My reaction was kind of ho-hum. Like, I expected this. Now, the timing of LeBron's extension, let's go there first, that was a bit surprising. You weren't really looking at LeBron to sign an extension at this moment. But the notion that he's going to end his career with the Lakers, I think everybody has believed that. And this may not even be his last contract. But I'm not surprised he's going to be long-term with the Lakers whatsoever. As far as Anthony Davis, no one thought he was leaving the Lakers. It was just a matter of what contract he was going to sign. And if you know the history of clutch management, then they take their time and they look at every single option. Is it advantageous to do a 1-year deal or a 3-year deal, 5-year deal, whatever the case? Obviously, they went long-term in this case, but it's not surprising that he's staying with them. What this does, and I never gave any credence to the notion that Giannis Antetokounmpo was joining the Lakers. But what this does is pretty much in that. There's really no realistic shot of Giannis going to the Lakers now as a free agent to join LeBron and AD. I didn't think that would happen, but that was a rumor that was floated out there. This pretty much puts that to bed. But it's not surprising at all that these two are signing on long-term to be with the Lakers.
Well, let me say this. It didn't surprise me, and that was because, you know, as Broussard did as well, I talked to some people directly involved in this and said everyone knew he was re-signing, but a lot of people thought he was going to take a 2+1, and I was told he's either taking a 1+1 or a 4+1, no in between, either the shortest or the longest. They went with the longest. But I would like to, we are looking at it through the prism of they just won a title. LeBron and Anthony Davis fit together and mesh together perfectly and immediately, and they are the overwhelming favorite going into this year. I'd like to take us back, I know we have no memory anymore, to, I don't know, 15 months ago, when Paul George doesn't want to play with LeBron, Kawhi Leonard doesn't want to play with LeBron, LeBron's coming off an injury, and there is speculation about whether or not that team makes sense. You got our old buddy Chris Mannix, who knows his hoops, saying if you had to choose one or the other, Lakers win the title or miss the playoffs, put your money on miss the playoffs because that team can't win the title. And how much do people really like playing with LeBron? Does he minimize other stars? Is he too passive-aggressive? Is he too much of a blame others? And so that all those narratives existed. And I say all that to say this. If this Lakers season, with LeBron James as the leader, had gone anywhere close to the way, I don't know, just to pick a team out of thin air, the Clippers season did with Kawhi Leonard as the leader, you think Anthony Davis signing up for 5 more years of that? You think that it was just a fait accompli, no matter how the year went, AD was going to want to be next to LeBron for the bulk of the, the next half decade? Or was it because it worked so well? Was it because there was such that familial team environment pre-restart, during the stoppage, and post-restart in the bubble? Was it because not only the best player in the league, but the best leader in the league did everything necessary to make it clear, while I might have the car keys right now, AD, one day I will hand them to you, and I might even hand them to you in Game 1 of the NBA Finals. I might even hand them to you in Game 2 of the NBA Finals. I trust you that much. So it was not always going to be, of course this works, of course they win the title, of course Anthony Davis signs for the maximum extension. Part of that was the work that LeBron and those other players did in building up the team last year, Brandon, to making this feel like an obvious move to the rest of us upon hindsight.
Yeah, and after listening to you talk, the first thing that comes to my mind is, like, why does it take so long? Why did this take so long? Like, we knew, yeah, there was doubt, but at the end of the day, after winning that championship together, you knew that he was going to be there. So the LeBron James news, that was no news to me. The very first thing I thought about was, wow, when is AD going to sign? Like, when is that going to happen? So I'm glad to hear you, Chris, pull back the curtains a little bit on Clutch Agency, because they share the same agent, and why it took so long because of their thought process. They really look at everything. He's looking at the salary cap for the next couple years and how this could potentially set up the next deal and the deal after that, or maybe even the deal after that. You talked about it, Nick. When this contract is over, this extension, he's going to be 31. So I'm glad that they got it done, and I'm finally glad to hear why it took so long, because that's the first thing that came to our mind. You're in LA. You're playing with the greatest player in the league right now, Wilds. So why aren't we getting this done? So the Lakers, man, this is awesome for them, and I also think this sets up LeBron for that transition to the older statesman in that locker room, going from superstar to now the face of the organization, and letting AD step out there and lead the way. So in the next couple years, you know, him being this big old point guard, he can now rely on those young guys and potentially get a championship or two out of it. So this is great news for the Lakers.
Yeah, you know what I think is interesting, Broussard? The Clippers play in LA too. But would we be shocked if in 2 years, 3 years, Paul George is not there and Kawhi is not there either? Like, it's got the same weather, but there's a franchise and deep roots of the Lakers organization that makes them more special than the Clippers. It's just the way it is. And I know the Clippers are your team. Don't get too mad at me. But Nick also mentioned something else in the last block. You're a lifelong Clippers fan.
Let me get that narrative right now.
when they had like the sailboat logo. And any event, Nick, you mentioned something interesting, but I'll get Broussard's take on it. That they're a nice destination. Ring chasing is sort of the pessimistic version, but looking for to start my final chapter. Like, and you know what? Then I'll go to the Lakers. And we've seen it not work with Karl Malone and Steve Nash, but it felt like it worked with not his final chapter, but like, I'm going to go to the Lakers. This is a box I want to check on my NBA career. And I think that's the secret sauce that kind of pushes them over the top.
Well, look, the Lakers are the best franchise in the NBA. And I know Boston, you know, they've got the championships and all that. But the Boston hasn't been a dominant franchise since Bill Russell left. Now, they obviously had the Bird era. And then they won one championship with the last big three. But they haven't been great. They've been a pretty good franchise since then. The Lakers, every decade, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, they've been great every decade. And so the Lakers are what the Lakers. I mean, and even what Nick was saying with LeBron, and you're right, LeBron did a great job of creating an environment that AD wanted to stay in. I think I've always said this is the reverse of Magic Kareem. Right? Kareem was the superstar MVP when Magic got there, and then Kareem was able to age gracefully, and it became Magic's team, and he helped carry Kareem to a longer career than we ever expected. And I think the same thing can happen here. LeBron will probably be the best player on the Lakers this season, and then this will probably be the last year of that. Then AD becomes the best player 2 years from now. And this gives AD more time to observe LeBron, to learn from LeBron. How do you lead a team? How do you become more of an alpha, which AD is not naturally? And I think by the time he's the best player on the team, he will be ready because he will have learned from LeBron. And LeBron will still be like a top 10 player in the league, so they'll be in position to win more championships. So this is perfect for the Lakers. Just to answer your question quickly about the Clippers, Wilds, I wouldn't be surprised if Paul George is gone, but I think there's a good chance Kawhi is with the Clippers long term. We know he's from Southern California. They're a very good team. And I'm going to say this, because I'm not a Clippers fan. I got to make that clear. I grew up more of a Lakers fan. The Lakers should be the clear favorite going into this season. They are. They're my favorite going into this season. But do not sleep on the Clippers.
Yes.
Don't think
Oh,
the
there it
Clippers
is.
have a shot.
Thank you.
We're back.
Don't think the Clippers have a shot. I'm just
they got
letting
no
you
shot.
know.
They got no
Don't
shot.
think they don't have a
They,
shot.
all the issues they had last year, they have again. They have no shot. But today is not a day we talk
Ibaka
about a barely
clears that
relevant
up.
team. Today is a day. Oh, it fixes everything. Of course, he's actually going to help Kawhi Leonard move, so he's not a 3-hour drive
Locker
from the
room
airport.
guy.
It's nice.
Locker
So
room
definitely
guy.
happening. But let's talk about a more important team. First of all, I'm very glad. I want to support Chris Broussard in one thing. I'm very glad Broussard's setting the record straight on the myth of the Celtics. You won 11 championships with Bill Russell. You have 6 since then. You have 1 championship since the fall of the Berlin Wall. Zip it, Celtic fans. You're not in this discussion. Now, as far as what we're discussing with the Lakers, here are the other things that I think are absolutely now not just like mind thought exercises, but legitimate points of discussion. If I had to ask you right now, you have to pick one of the following. LeBron James, in the rest of his career, only gets one more